everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So today we are going to be watching a video, and it is about it's called Outnumbered. I think I changed it, you guys. No, I did not change it. Nope, nope, nope. So let's get to it. I have nothing, no punchline, nothing to say really, other than let's watch it. You know how I am. I cut the video and start talking during the video. It's a 41-minute video and 41-second video. So let's get started. Let me turn it. Oh, man. Sorry, you guys out there that watch me on a regular that I hashtag. I'm sorry for not hashtagging you. So sorry. Well, so he finally got them considering to be the 51st state to put that dome because that is such a great thing to have that dome. They are all condemning it because they know that in the future they want to possibly nothing. We don't know why they're condemning it. I love to see how they about to do this in 3 years. How are they about to build something so high up? How would they travel outside of the country? What is going to be done? I love to see this. See, she said it, she said it, she said it. Now, had I said it, she said they want the option to be able to nuke us. Had I said it, and before she said it, I would be off of TikTok right now. I don't care if it costs $55 trillion. This is people lives. This is people lives. A generation full of lives until they come out with something higher and we build something smarter. What I'm scared about is John Corinne Pierre or Corinne Jean Pierre, whatever her name is. Um, she, like I said before, man, to sit up there for 4 years and literally have no emotion when she said he is sharp as a tack. He is sharp as a butcher knife. He is sharp as a Ginzu knife. Just in other words. And it comes to find out he is not sharp. His health is declining. You know, she'll get on stand and she'll ace it. I think in the future, when technology even more catches up to us and we have even better lie detector tests or lie detector tests, we should sit up there and actually use them for a multi variety of purposes, you know, that are 99.9% impenetrable. Just like I said, that Microsoft, who else? Google, um, Apple, and many more of the big tech companies. I can't name them all. Yahoo, I don't understand. It's not catching up no time soon. Um, their I don't even think they have AI, but all I'm saying is that they should develop some type of program that for criminals. I'm saying this is in the future. I'm not saying that they have this now. What I'm saying is they should develop a sort of lie detector test. I'm talking about the lie detector test. That's 99.9% approved by the government. Both sides, both Democrat and Republican, in a bipartisan way, approve of this. And it could be used for the police, the FBI, the CIA, yada, yada, yada. But then what do you do when you find out the people are lying? Well, let's say they murdered JoJo. I hate the most when they get 15 years to life, and at the 15-year mark, they're out of jail. So that body that they killed and made suffer is worth 15 years. I don't think that's right. So Microsoft, back to what I was saying, Microsoft, Apple, Google, and every all of the at Facebook, all of the big tech companies that are out there needs to get together and come up with some type of big program where when these criminals die in prison, they can capture like a Ghostbusters trap. They can capture their soul and deteriorate it so it won't so energy will die. This is a sensitive program because it a lot of people say, well, it may violate some rules. But do you want somebody else coming back? However, once we learn about how long it takes for a spirit to come back, does it come to Earth? Does it go to another planet? You know, deteriorated so it will never come back. I am sick of these criminals. That's how sick I am. I think crazy like that. Because one last thing, because when they get the death penalty, they just recreate. And then somebody else as a baby, as spirit, possibly, that is predetermined in the family that they are in to be a murderer. Or it skips to a cousin generation if the family bloodline ties off. However, it may happen. We don't need criminals. I am sick of them. Like that Jonas song, God needs the devil. God don't need the devil. The devil was an accident. It was a pure accident. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to cut y'all off and talk about off the wall stuff, but Canada, King Charles, I don't know if y'all were watching yesterday, national news, international news actually, slash national slash international news, sat up there and said, and I have to say this because damn, at first I was thinking about it. I was like, why didn't Trump think of that? But then I said to myself, I know why. So let's get started. King Charles said he was putting down what's the future hold for Canada because he's the head of Canada. Then comes the prime minister. I did not know that. And he sat up there and said, we will lock repeat offenders up and make it hard for them to get out. I said, dang. I said, dang. You know, it's one thing to commit a murder, but to continue a repeat factor, murder again, on probation, assault on probation, robbery on probation. People know to flee here. People know to live here. I said, dang, why didn't Trump think of that? But then I backed up and I said, if Trump says some stuff like that, because he's already getting flack from sending them to their country. It's like, we have rights. We have rights. No, you don't. You came illegally. If Biden was in office, you have rights, but he's not in office. You're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to do nothing. This is our country. All you allowed to do is get paid, get a check from some crooked part of the government to watch and kill people. It's just sad, man. It's really sad. It it doesn't, I'm not, I'm just irritated. I I I pray online right now through a Christian value that we can find and take them all back, because this is I finally see what they're saying. I am government property. You dig? I am government property. And you are messing with government property. How many more are you messing with? You really think if you're watching me that you're not being watched? I mean, I get a check every month. And they're not stupid to send y'all race to watch me. They got ways to watch me on the television, on the monitor, in the skies. Stop messing with government property. Whoa, 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 whoa. She is not that old. She had to be in her 20s when that happened, or her 30s. She is so beautiful to me. I respect Trump even more. He said there are some things that aren't good about it, but are good about it. And, you know, you can't make everybody happy, but if it was up to the Democrats, there would be a hike, a tax increase. So I respect him even more for being honest. And that's one thing that people don't understand, and some people cannot master. Sometimes you have to negotiate in order to get to where you're going. And sometimes you must negotiate and take things off the table in order to get things done properly. If you don't know how to negotiate, then there's a problem, because all you want to do is what you want to do, And that means that your mind is made up about things until you see the other side, what they're putting out and what they're saying that they're going to do in return if you make a move like this. And then when you say, hey, look, I want you to do it this way, or and I will cut down this, that, and the third, then certain things can be taken off the table. For example, if I have to use a good example too, I'm not going to say the election was rigged because then they'll take my TikTok page. So I'll just say breeze through and say tinkled with. I'm trying to figure out how I can word this for another example. He came in, he lost because it was tinkled with, and Putin took advantage of that. Putin took advantage of that, y'all. If when when George Floyd, every time a black guy dies, even in Baltimore, there were there was a black guy, I don't remember his name, but he died. He was in handcuffs and they were going real fast and I think he broke his neck. And I hate to use this as an example. I don't want to use George Floyd. But they sat up there and it was two black guys or one black guy and one white guy, cops. They believed that it was a setup. So what did they do? They raided Madame Mall, which I was right up the street from. I was right up the street from. So what they did was they took advantage of the situation. Sorry about that, you guys. They took advantage of the situation by raiding. They didn't have to raid, They could have just sat up there, watched the news, and then protested peacefully. But they raided. They raided because they wanted to. They wanted a piece of the pie. I don't even know if they caught anybody. Mothers whipping children home. People, juveniles being sprayed with pepper spray and watered with spray by cops. It was terrible. And all I'm saying is he was pretty close to Putin around that time. Yet people kept saying the Russia, Russia, Russia hoax. And Trump had to clear his name. And Trump said some things to clear his name about Putin, which wasn't mean to me. I think it was appropriate to clear his name. But maybe it made Putin mad. We never know. But Putin watches this news, these type of news, and the Kremlin watches these news stories. And so every time something come out new, they watch it. And maybe Putin doesn't want to make a deal because he feels he can win the war. And it's just terrible because he's deep into the war, and his history that he knows about that nobody else watched. If you watch the video with Tucker Carlson and him, he was very straightforward with Tucker Carlson, and like Tucker Carlson's, it was like very straightforward. He was like he corrected Tucker Carlson a couple of times, and he doesn't play. You may see these pictures of him on TikTok and with Trump and all that, but he does not play. He is not a playful character. So you can only imagine how he feels with Ukraine and all. And to be honest, it is you know who fault. Instead of sending all that money, it should have been other solutions. Where did all that money go? I think that money, I don't know what that money was being funded for, but I ask yourselves, hold on, ask yourselves, where did it go so fast? He wasn't winning the war, even with the money. No one wants to help him. He tried, in the beginning of the war, he wanted Zelensky and his wife murdered. Putin did. And this is a sensitive topic, you know. I don't know what to say about it because I don't know the history. I may end up doing some research, but that means taking time out of my schedule to look up what Russia, or watch the video between Tucker Carlson and Russia. Because when I watched the video, Russia said he owes them, Zelensky or whoever is in power owes them quite a bit of land in Ukraine. He said this has been going on for like 700 plus years, to my knowledge, to what I think he said. They signed some deal so that Russia can get that land, and then they reneged on it back in the day. And he won his land. That's how much I looked at it. And then I turned it off. I'm gonna watch more of it though. And yeah, I'm glad we're getting that dome. I would stay sound and stay gay. And what I mean by gay, I mean really gay. And be like, oh child, I didn't mean playing with fire. I mean you're good. Get that dome and be like, look, if you don't stop this, you are playing with fire, because all he has to do is keep talking John, and then he'll say forget it and send a missile all the way over here while the dome is being built, and then that can be a big catastrophe, because it only protects 85%, like the women were saying on Outnumbered. um so yeah, which is better than nothing. That's like having a pair of shoes that are used versus having no shoes. See what he said? He don't want to screw it up. He don't want to screw up the deal. So he's treading softly. I would tread softly too, especially without a dome. Because Putin said something about World War III, briefly. First, he said something about Trump having too much emotion. Then he said something about World War III. We can take that. We can take it. But lives, he knows that Trump don't want to risk lives in the United States. That's eating up the Democrats. So now they said, well, male children aren't, well, not children, male teenagers aren't watching our show enough. So what they plan on doing is through, I think, gaming. Uh, it's not gaming. It's it is gaming. What is it? Yeah, it's gaming. I some type of video games. Yeah, I had to add that, because gaming and I don't know. So video game systems, they're going to help them see that the Democrats are the best. I'm like, sounds like programming, video game programming. To me, it does. It just sounds so programish, you know, pro I don't want to get into what I learned before, but y'all have to start watching videos, more videos. Some people will sit up there and watch cat videos and dog videos, so fluffy, so cute, all day, every day, or watch music videos all day, every day. And I admit, I slack sometimes and I watch it, but if a video comes across my YouTube platform, I'm on it. I will watch it. An important video, if it's about Trump, if it's about Ukraine, if it's about Russia, if it's about China, wherever. If it's about Putin being interviewed, if it's about Elon Musk, whoever, I will watch it, And Elon Musk meant no harm. He probably was just saying that, his honest opinion, and that was all. It's not like people have disagreements. If people didn't have disagreements in large companies together, then there would be no growing at all. Trump could have sat up there and said, well, Elon Musk is crazy. He could have sat up there and just mirrored it off and said he don't know what he's talking about. But he said there are some good things and some bad things. But that's better than having 65% of taxes go up. Oh my God, 44 minutes went by that fast. 41 minutes. Let's see. What 10-minute video can we watch? Think about this, y'all. All the Democrats that done put in a bill. Think about the Obamacare. That's like 500 plus, depending on the amount of people. And they just passed it like water. 500 plus. And Nancy Pelosi was House Speaker at the time, I believe. They passed it like water. Just drinking water that you drink. So that's, if there's 5 in a household and Obamacare costs $500, that's 5,000, 2,000, 2,500. Now, where do you think that money is going? When he finally, God forbid, I'm not looking for Obama to expire. But one day we all expire. Even I'm going to expire one day. But think about this. One day when he do expire, that money, that Obamacare, I think Trump stopped it, but the Obamacare either would have or will roll into his daughters and his wife. That it's hard to explain, man. A lot of Democrat presidents that did the wrong things with bills. Here in Washington State, we have to pay because Trump is making um Bob Ferguson suffer, but Bob Ferguson can't sit up there and find a way without making us suffer, which who knows, he's probably getting undercut, a cut. You know, we have to suffer with a gas tax and stipulations about rent going up. You know, we have to suffer because he did wrong. He's the sanctuary state. He has rules and laws for illegal immigrants to be here and criminals to get out and rotate on a regular, bypassing the three-strike rule. It's just terrible. It's terrible. And it it makes no sense. Like going in a tunnel will cost you and it will go up. Going over a bridge will cost you and it goes up. Anything you do in the heart of Seattle or beyond that, certain places you drive, it will cost you and you will go up throughout the 3-year period because they're trying to fix stuff. Kristi Noem said when she was governor, she didn't have to endure that. She wasn't in debt. She didn't have to make the people suffer. So why is it that all of a sudden we have to pay more and more for gas when people don't have it? Like Bob catch limousines and helicopters and people driving him places. He don't have to worry about gas. Half of them don't have to worry about it who are his allies. We don't even have to, we can't see what he's really doing. They have a probe up Donald Trump's booty because they want to make sure that everything he does with this big beautiful bill is resisted. Put it to you like that. So they pick and choose what they want to talk about that supposedly is not for the people, but there are things that Bob Ferguson is doing that is not for the people. We can't stick a probe up him. Nobody is investigating Bobby. But instead, we investigate Trump because he's a MAGA Republican. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bob have so many laws, so many bills in effect, and people are speaking out, talking about, please don't take this away, please don't take that away. He's trying to take welfare away. I think a little bit or altogether, ask yourself this, you guys. When you're in public housing and on welfare, what are you really doing? At least me being where I'm at right now, I have big dreams, big goals for myself. I got one more medical issue to settle, and I'll do that when I move. But when I do move and settle it, I'm going to get right back to working. And I just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a I can't help it type problem. Other than that, I'm gonna get back to working. And these women, the way it was set up, welfare, was that you be on welfare, you gotta work for 6 months to a year, then you could be back on welfare again. Food stamps is the same all around. I've watched, even though I get a check from the military, they worked me. I worked for those checks that I get. Every penny. Every penny. When I say I worked 17 hours a day. And I'm not exaggerating. Especially in Korea. 4 hours of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep. I would do it all over again, but not get in trouble this time. Not have my brother come this time. Definitely stay away from the wrong people. And this was 3 years straight, 3.5 years straight. So the rules are quite simple in the military. I'm not going to explain them. And it was mind opening. But welfare, you buy your cigarettes. My mother tried to work. She never smoked. She never did nothing. She tried to find work, and she was on welfare. Every day she was trying to find work. It was very different in Charlotte, North Carolina than it is now. It's probably still the same, but it was nowadays, they got strategically certain people work in different areas, certain police officers work in different areas of Charlotte. Brereton Court is probably predominantly black or even Hispanic or probably 1% white, you know. Brereton Court was where I used to live, and that's where Billingsville was. And she tried to find work. She tried to find work. She attempted. But without a computer, which we used to go to the library all the time downtown, um, without the internet, sometimes she couldn't afford to pay electricity. I'm just being truthful. But this was back in the day. They got so many resources now and so many job related resources. She went to school at Central Piedmont Community College. and try to do the right things. But, fate has it, it wasn't, God said, come home, and so she caught colon cancer. She was in her fourth stage. She had to have had it since she was 30. She was in her fourth stage. All that secondhand smoke. That's why I don't like smoke no more. You know, secondhand smoke is more deadly than firsthand smoke. And yeah, now I see what people say since I'm officially not smoking a Newport, Marlboro, or anything. Now I see what they say when they say they can smell it a mile away. That funky smell. And it really don't smell good. It smells gross. It makes you want to throw up because of the tar in it and the poison. I mean, you're smoking poison. You're literally smoking poison. But that's your life. Literally, that's your life. So, yeah. Um, I the projects. I don't care how and why the projects were born, Nobody had to make it into some type of war zone. We made it into a war zone, not including me. They made it into a war zone. You had a home to go to. You wanted to sell drugs. Now you're mad at another man because he outdeals you in drugs. So you buy a gun. Then he buy a gun. And then it's a big shootout. 2-year-old Jamal comes out and gets shot in the stomach. Y'all run, on the run. The police go to every door. Your old lady lie for you. The FBI get involved and take everybody into custody and interview everybody. It's just sad. Well, I don't have no money. Get a job. Well, this is a job. Well, I'm sorry for your life. I looked at some apartments and it hurt me to the soul. And I'm glad I didn't move there because it's income based. And in the next, I give it 10 years. I wanted to say 15, but 7. Let's do 7. If not already, it's going to be jumping with crime. And they're beautiful apartments. They always ruining it. The bad people. And that's why when King Charles said what he said, make it harder for repeat offenders to get out, I was with it. I am not a repeat offender. I feel like we do these things, Black people, to ourselves. What do you do when you about to ride on somebody or about to do something to somebody? What do we see? Because the TV shows got it down to a science. The TV the TV shows got it down to a science what these juvenile Black kids and what these older Black men do. They snort cocaine, smoke a little weed, and listen to rap music, pass around a blunt, listening to rap music. And then they get in the car and they probably do a lot more than just that. But, for TV's sake, they want to just make it, simple, even though it's more than simple because it just makes kids want to do it. And then they go shoot somebody. I used to laugh at the movie with Ice Cube. Every Black person used to laugh at that part where Ricky died because he stood up for someone or something. And then they were in this small, I'm not going to cuss, this small car. It's not funny. It's just sad and pathetic that California did that. And I think they paralyzed him or he died and they paralyzed somebody else. Um, Boys in the Hood, I think it's called. But they shot him for no reason. And those are the videos that the gangsters like to watch. So they could be like, oh, look at Ricky. It's just sad to me. We're better than that. So don't get mad when people choose because we all had to watch those type of videos. New Jack City and as children, that's what came out and that's what we were exposed to, those horrific videos. Scarface, and we all didn't know what we were being exposed to, but we all were rooting for the person that was the negative person as young Black kids. Some of it stuck with us. I'm going to be like him and I'm going to make this money. Some of us grew out of it and forgot about the movies. What do you think the white children was watching? You think they were exposed? Like, probably in their 20s when they were fully developed brains, exposed to Scarface. But as children being exposed to Scarface and New Jack City and Boys in the Hood and many others, it does something to you. We are better than that. So these women need to come off of welfare because they're using the system. Get a job. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Never waste my time, you all I want.